Hey guys, so I'm sad to be making this video, and it is basically just going to be me ranting about the state of the world lately. I know it is atypical on my channel, but I've just been extremely frustrated with corporate greed for a really long time, but specifically lately. And that is because in the last few months I lost my job because of disagreements with my employer, and this was a job that I was at for 12 years and I loved immensely for 10 of those years. But then in the past couple years, corporate greed just seeped into the whole organization, and then I was let go in August. But I'm not going to focus too much on my story. I want to talk about the recent news where Bungie, under the direction of Sony, laid off a bunch of their employees. Obviously, we don't know the inner workings, but I'm sure it just came down to some stupid fucking suit in an office somewhere trying to scrimp and save money wherever they could to make their books look better for corporate profits. Anything to appease the almighty shareholder. Now, before I go any further, I do want to give my deepest condolences to everyone at Bungie who was affected by these layoffs. I hope you land on your feet and find a company who genuinely appreciates all your hard work, effort, and talent. You are the reason we have a game that we all love and are so passionate about. Without the people on the ground level, there is no Destiny, and the execs need to realize that. So thank you for all the good that you've done in your time at Bungie, and may this just be one door closing, allowing you to go on to bigger and better things. Best of luck to you all. Now, this was reported by Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, and we do not yet know the extent of the layoffs, but I wanted to focus on an interesting paragraph in his article. It states Bungie recently delayed an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape, until June from February, pushing it out of Sony Group Corp's current fiscal year, according to people familiar with the matter who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. Bungie's next game, Marathon, slipped to 2025. Interesting. They pushed The Final Shape to fall out of the current fiscal year. What a fucking joke. Now, to be clear, I don't give a shit if The Final Shape is delayed. I like breaks from Destiny, and I'd rather be playing a polished product, but the reasoning is the most corporate shit I've ever heard. Again, to go back to my last job, we had an exchanger leaking explosive gas into a building and the managers wouldn't fix it. This was like June 19th. The quarter closes July 1st. And wouldn't you know it, we had a bunch of gas in our building Canada Day long weekend and had to make an emergency shutdown and fix it. It's funny how they couldn't fix it in late June, but then in early July on a stat holiday weekend, they can now come down to fix it. We had production quotas to meet at this job, and they were paid out quarterly if we met the quota. So some stupid fucking manager would rather risk his employees' lives so they can get their quarterly bonus. And then the downtime is on the books for the next quarter, and then hopefully they can stay running for the rest of the quarter to get that bonus too. This is the kind of evil shit that is plaguing every single industry right now. Profits over safety and the well-being of your employees, no matter what. So when I read this article that The Final Shape was being pushed to get it out of the current fiscal year, all I could think of was how Sony doesn't give a single fuck about Bungie or the Destiny community. They just care that their books look good for their shareholders. And you see this across the gaming landscape. Everywhere you look, people are praising 2023 as the best year in gaming ever. And it's true. We have had countless truly iconic games released this year. It will go down as one of the best ever. But there have also been countless headlines of layoffs at various studios throughout the industry. It's truly sad. Even when things are going well, it is not enough to satisfy the greed of these executives. It reminds me of a great quote. Poverty exists not because we cannot feed the poor, but because we cannot satisfy the rich. And it's so true. Stock growth is predicated on everlasting growth, but that is not sustainable. So these companies will do everything they can to extract just a little more profit. Destiny and countless other games are now littered with microtransactions. Not because they make the gameplay better, fuck no. It is because gaming studios started to be ran by these Wall Street types who care about nothing other than money. They don't care about the quality of their games. We see buggy mess after buggy mess get released. Battlefield 2042 is one of my favorite examples that I would tell my coworkers. That it was just like the place that we worked. They pushed it out before it was ready. The devs knew it wasn't ready, Suits knew it wasn't ready, but they had to appease the almighty shareholders and release it in the holiday season of 2021, before the end of the year, and at a time when it would sell the most. Who cares about game quality and the fact you won't retain any players because the game is dog shit and unfinished? We just have to push it out and get our sales. Nothing but short-sightedness. Only care about the quarterly earnings. It was the exact same at my last job. You see it constantly. Halo is another good example. Was not ready at all. Could have waited a year and released a high-quality, finished product that would have won players over and kept them playing. Both of these games have had redemption arcs since, and by all accounts are really good and fun. And that is thanks to the devs who continue to work tirelessly on the game to improve them. but I have no doubt that both these games would have much healthier player populations today if they had been delayed and released in the state that they are in now. There's not a doubt in my mind. But the suits, they don't give a fuck. They just need the initial sales numbers to appease investors and then move on to the next project they will release half-baked and maybe improve over time. They don't care if the product is good or not, just that it sells. A friend of mine sadly bought the latest Mortal Kombat on Switch and said it is unplayable and is shocked that it is even legal to release something that doesn't work like that. But who cares? They got their money, right? And we have so much consolidation and monopolization now. Bungie was acquired by Sony, Activision Blizzard acquired by Microsoft. These companies will just snuff out competition and buy up the ones they like. And don't even get me started on the piece of shit that is Bobby Kotick and what a terrible person he is and the terrible culture that he shepherded at Activision. But back to the layoffs, apparently Michael Salvatore was laid off, the beloved composer of the music we all know and love in Destiny 1 and 2. He also worked on the Halo games. Destiny is a very divisive game. Everyone has opinions and shouts on Twitter, but the one thing that everyone agrees on is that Destiny music is simply iconic. It's the best. Now, I don't know what Michael was paid, but I guarantee the wage was more than worth it for the impact that he made in the game. But these executives are completely out of touch. They don't see how valuable his contribution is. They just see him as another headcount that can be cut down to make the numbers look better on paper. They just don't care. I couldn't find Jim Ryan's compensation, but I guarantee that they could knock it down some and he would be fine. And then that money that they saved from his salary could be used to retain a lot of the jobs that were just laid off. His fucking net worth is $250 million. Bobby Kotick's net worth is $600 million and his salary is $30 million. What a joke. These people don't contribute that much to the creation of these games to warrant near that much pay. And that is a problem. Without the folks at Bungie who make Destiny what it is, there is no game. And then there's no reason to have these CEOs. And then there's no product for them to sell to even get that exorbitant salary in the first place. Yet it is the people at the bottom who suffer. This year, capitalism ruined a job I loved for a decade, and now it is threatening to ruin a game I have loved for nearly a decade. And it is permeating through the gaming industry and plaguing it at every turn. It ruined my career, and now it is ruining one of my favorite hobbies, and I'm just sick of it. Not to mention that the greed across the board has basically locked out an entire generation from home ownership. It is ruining basically every aspect of our lives at this point. I bought 3 spices at the store the other day and it was $22. What the fuck? I don't know how people can survive anymore. But yeah, my heart goes out to all those affected at Bungie and across the gaming industry as a whole. And anyone else out there who is struggling to make ends meet while the wealth gap grows ever wider, homes become increasingly unaffordable, and jobs demand more and more of our time and attention while paying us peanuts so the top 1% can buy another yacht. I'm fucking sick of it. Anyways, if you made it this far, tell me something you are grateful for down in the comments. It's been a rough day and I need something to brighten my spirits. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support lately on the channel too. It means a lot. Wishing you lots of health and happiness. Take care.